Friends, today we are going to talk about a topic which you won't find very much being discussed in the national media. Neither the electronic media discusses it, nor the print media discusses it. But it is something which is very important to us, the Indians, because it concerns us all. It concerns our aspirations, our dreams. Hello, viewers. Namaskaram. Welcome to all of you. My name is Amit Mahajan, and I welcome you all to my YouTube channel, Layman History and Geopolitics. Friends, when Modi government came to power in 2014, and it's been 11 years now since he's in power, one thing we all expected that India will grow now. India will become the factory of the world. Make in India campaign was launched. Government took some steps, went two steps ahead, then retreated three steps back. And that's what we are seeing from the very beginning since this government came to power. Sure, it has taken some steps, it is progressing in the right direction, but have we achieved the desired results? That's the question. The one thing that Modi government started with fanfare was the Make in India project. That India will become the factory of the world. We will become the manufacturing hub of the world. World will no longer look alone at China. World will also think that India is also an option. The foreign companies will come in India. They will start manufacturing in India. And this thing came around in 2013 when supply chains were under pressure. The labor costs were rising in China. Companies started to diversify and they started looking for options which would be another company plus China. So that was China plus one strategy. Now, in this China plus one strategy, the countries which came to the fore were the countries of Southeast Asia, South Asia. And in this, we see that India had to compete with the ASEAN countries. India had to compete with Bangladesh. And when we see today, what has happened is that India, see, the national media will say that India is the manufacturing hub of the world. We are making mobile phones. Apple is manufacturing its phones in India. India is the pharmaceutical factory of the world. But then there are other aspects to it. Where are we in the textile sector? Why did Vietnam and Bangladesh move ahead of India in textile sector? Where did we go in the steel sector? Where did we go? Where did we advance in the solar panel manufacturing sector? We are nowhere. And plus, what happened was that in 2020, to boost exports and to increase the share of manufacturing in the GDP of India, which was something around 15.4%, government wanted to take it to 25%. In 2020, government announced product linked incentive scheme, that's PLI scheme. As per this scheme, the companies which would invest in India, start manufacturing in India, meet the production targets and the exports targets, they would be incentivized by the government, and government gave a fund corpus for the scheme for a massive $26 billion. And a few days back, around 15 to 20 days back, we have come to know from the sources I've read in the news that government has decided to lapse that scheme now. It won't be extended to other. There were pilot 14 sectors for this scheme. It won't be extended to other sectors, and the companies which have missed the production deadlines, despite their repeated requests, they will not be given production extensions. It is also said that the companies which did achieve their targets under the scheme, government even was too much slow in paying them their incentives. So why is it happening in India that we are not able to match up? And plus, adding to it, we know the Trump regime, what it has done. 2nd of April, Liberation Day, as they call it, as Mr. Trump calls it, President Trump calls it. On China, he has imposed 54% tariffs. Vietnam, he has imposed 46% tariffs. Bangladesh is 37%, Pakistan is 29%, and India is 26%. So if we see it, see, tariffs are also imposed on India, But our tariffs are low as compared to the other countries. So one would think that India will rise now, will start manufacturing because the tariffs are low. The companies will come to India, they will start manufacturing in India, and India will become a natural choice for the manufacturers of the world to produce and export the world over. But one thing we need to remember around here is government decisions are one thing, but the implementation is another thing. If we talk about, I'll talk about a case of Vietnam around here. Vietnam is just a country of 99 million people. In that, 51.6 million are considered as uh, literate people, manufacturing literate people who are literate in manufacturing, who have the required skills. And in this 51.6 million people, 35% are below the age of 35. And 99% of population of Vietnam has access to electricity. Compare that with India. India has huge potential from the very beginning. We were supposed to take a leap ahead in the late 99 2000s. We were supposed to take lead around 2020s. But despite our potential, we've not been able to make this leap. Why? The reason around here is that India government does make policies, but the implementation is in the hands of the bureaucracy. And this red tape, this bureaucracy imposes such huge hurdles in the paths of development, in the paths of the companies investing, clearing their proposals, giving them lands, making them start their production, that until these deadlines are completed, when the companies get these permissions, the steam runs out of these companies. Adding to it, in India, we know that the in India the road infrastructure is not that good. Though the government is working on Sagarmala and Bharatmala projects, but still road infrastructure is not that good. Electricity supply is erratic. Then our logistical supply chains are pathetic, as we all know, due to which the costs of are inflated and companies miss their deadlines. And when they miss their deadlines, their costs are inflated. Why would they invest in a country like India? Despite this PLI scheme, it is 23% cheaper to manufacture a product in ASEAN countries as compared to India. In Vietnam, there is a single party socialist government. Government takes decisions, it has credibility, and the foreign companies do believe in it. In 2021, I'll give you a data. 26 US companies started manufacturing in Vietnam, only 3 came to India. Why? Because the government had credibility. There was no red tape around there. Some days back, what the government of the country has done, the Vietnam has done, is it has slashed 20% of its civil workforce to improve efficiency. Adding to it, what they've done is by 97% majority vote, the country voted for limiting down their ministries. They have limited their ministries to just 14 to improve efficiency. Compare that with India. In India, we have 54 ministries, endless number of departments, red tape which will not allow a company, not even a shopkeeper to function easily. Add to it the labor laws. A company coming investing millions, billions in India, and they have to face strikes, they have to face labor unions, and the labor laws are not reformed in India. In Vietnam, what the government did was that it uh, made flexible labor laws and recognized independent labor unions, thus protecting the interests of the labor unions also, the workers also, and the companies also. India is a protectionist country, whether we accept it or not, it's a fact. In 2019, we remember RECEP, Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership. India was supposed to join it, but at the last moment, India, due to its protectionist measures, left the regime with the fear that if we join this regime, the Chinese goods will flood the Indian market and our industries will be destroyed. Why don't we allow fair competition, free competition? If our companies will be able to compete with these foreign companies, the Chinese companies, the Asian companies, then only they will grow. Then only they will achieve the required benchmarks, the standards, and manufacture such goods that are accepted quality wise the world over. Why don't we allow this? As regards the infrastructure, I've spoken to you about the roads. In Vietnam, there are 325 government recognized industrial parks. 17 more are coming up. It is just close to China. One of their cities is just 570 miles from Chinese city of Shenzhen. That's an economic hub, manufacturing hub. So the supply chains are continuously working around there. Goods are coming from China. The raw materials are coming. They are manufacturing. They are exporting, and all these industrial parks are close to main roads, ports, airports. So it's seamless export is going around there. Do you know fact in Vietnam, exports account for massive 93.8% of the GDP. India, I think it's just 21.5%. And plus, adding to it, they have a workforce which is ably trained to handle these manufacturing, the sort of manufacturing which the companies require, the skill set they have. India, we have a vast pool, but do we have the required vocational capabilities of the people? Are they trained in such a manner that they can handle all this, handle the manufacturing operations? We know there is a load of a load of engineering graduates in India, but do they have the requisite skills? Are they apt in their trade? Have they learnt, or they've just got the degrees from their institutes? The government needs to give them vocational degrees, vocational training, that they learn the craft and then uh, make their skills act to the requirements of the companies which need to hire them. So it's one thing that you go around, study, take a degree, and it is another thing that you are basically trained for the job. You know how to handle the job. That's totally a different thing. And that's what we Indians need to do. Government will be there, government would be thinking, but then this red tape has to be cut, the infrastructure needs to be improved, the labor laws need to be actually tailored around for the needs of the to protect the needs of the workers and the companies, and then only our country will be able to grow. In India, we talk about GDP. Our GDP is growing. We are fifth largest country GDP wise. But do you know what drives India's GDP? India's GDP is driven by government spending and consumption, whereas it should be driven by private investment and exports. Secondly, where is the bulk of Indian workforce employed? Work Bulk of Indian workforce is either self-employed or working in food and beverages or in retail. Otherwise, they should be actually employed in manufacturing if India has to progress. In India, I'll tell you a fact. When this PLI scheme was introduced, the share of manufacturing in the economy was 15.4%. Today it's 14.3%. It has reduced. Exports just account for 21.5% of India's GDP. Compare that with Vietnam, 93.5%. And true, America has put tariffs on Vietnam also, around 46%. But the country has shown willingness to talk with the Americans, with President Trump. They have opened negotiations. And the way that country works, I'm pretty sure they'll be able to come out of this predicament. They will be able to go back on their growth path. It is for us, the Indians, to decide now what we want. These Liberation Day tariffs True, they are going to impact just the goods. Auto industry is in India is going to hit. The auto parts are being heavily taxed now by the America. Services are out of this, so India it is not going to have such a huge impact. But we need to think that if bulk of our workforce has to be employed, it's just to employed in the manufacturing sector. And if it has to be employed in the manufacturing sector, we need to give them the requisite skills, we need to train them. So that's what our government needs to do. I hope I gave my point to you. You were able to understand it a bit. I hope you liked my video. My name is Amit Mahajan. Kindly like, subscribe, and share my YouTube channel, Layman History and Geopolitics. Namaskar and Vanakkam to all of you. Thank you.